when home charge is a part of drain of wealth, your definition of drain of wealth will not fit there.
Resources of one country benefiting other in any means.
That's it. Okay. Next, what we discuss it? After drain of wealth, what we discuss it? Instruments of drain of wealth, we discuss it, right? Tell me some of the instruments of drain of wealth. What is instruments of drain of wealth? Why I gave a word instrument? Through which form the drain was happened? That is the instrument. So what are the forms the drain was went from here? Wealth was drained from here to there. Oh, okay. Like that. Okay. Okay. Tell. Okay. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಾನು ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಅಥವಾ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ then tell me what are the instruments of drain of wealth? Okay. 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 Okay, that is also part of drain of wealth. Then, what are the different things in which the wealth was drained? One in the part of home charge, another in the part of the lower cost raw materials, another in the part of human resources in their industries. Next, in that note, I am asking, tell me this one, core one. Subsidy reliance one. Next. Revenue policies. Next. Communications, transportations. Next. Home charges. Next. Next. Using our armies to Anglo, Burmese, Anglo, Afghan war and all. Next. How the drain of wealth and Dadabhai Naoroji was related? He was the first person who used the word drain. Okay. And he was the one who founded a political party called East India Association in London. Right? And he told what is India, British owed to India, what England owed to India. Right? Next. Who calculated drain of wealth for the first time? And what is the RP Dutt? RP Dutt. What he told? Okay. What is commercial policy? Okay. Okay. So commercial policy is another form of drain of wealth, right? And next, what is the communication development period? 53, 54, 55. These are okay. See, these years are very important because that will help you to do some educated guesses in your prelims. At least help you to do elimination technique, right? And what is the first labor association? Okay, that was the first labor organization, right? The first labor organization was on the textile, but where or you can say in which industry you will get the first labors? Railway labor, and textile railway, I mean laborers association. What is the name for that association? And who is the founder? Okay, how you conclude that drain of wealth answer in your minds? The development of the underdevelopment which is started, right? Okay. What is tribe? We can't define tribe, but we can give some of the characteristics for these tribes. That should be your answer. Now, what are the different kinds of characteristics for the tribes? Salient features of the tribes. What is salient feature? Salient feature means what? Salient feature, characteristics. Very good. Salient features means characteristics. Say some characteristics of the tribes. Uncivilized. Okay. That means according to our president was uncivilized. She was uncivilized.
Sir, then if we take like that characters and we can't describe.
So you can't say a direct hit like a uncivilized. Yeah, you are introducing tribe in an uncivilized mode. Yes. So say something. No, this is discussion. India is open for debate and discussion. We are not concluding anything here. And we are learning. We are the learners. Next.
In the forest. Isolated.
Okay. One who are very happy to live in an isolated area. Right. One who are feel comfortable to live in an isolated area. And isolated area, natural isolated area was forest. And forest was their lifeline. Right? So what is the thing they would pursue for their livelihood? Like from where they depend? Forest, minor forest producers. What are the minor forest producers?
Honey collection, medicinal plants.
Except, very good. Except timber, or except timber. No, minor forest mineral. Minor forest mineral. The sand. Sand is a kind of minor forest mineral. Sand mineral, alla. Minor forest mineral. Okay. Next, what we discussing? So we are discussing environment again. I'll come to that. Next, you know what? In today's newspaper, one article is there. That article is related to reptile trafficking, not trafficking. What we call smuggling. Reptile smuggling. Reptile smuggling. ಏನಾಗಿದೆ? This one, our Kempegowda International Airport, Bangalore. In that entry, one person got arrested. Officials they seized one bag of reptiles which contains reptiles ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ lizard, snakes, ಈ ದಪ್ಪ ಚರ್ಮದೆಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ,
Huge
chameleons, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ರೆಪ್ಟೈಲ್ಸ್ಗಳು. ಅದು ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಮಗ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋಗಿಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗಲ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್. ನೋಡಿ, CITES, Convention of International Trade of Endangered Species, Convention of Ban on International Trade on Endangered Species ಅಂತಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. So that I will do in while discussing IUCN and all, red list and all in environment. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ, ವೀಕೆಂಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಗ್ದಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಅಪೆಂಡಿಕ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಪೆಂಡಿಕ್ಸ್ 1, ಅಪೆಂಡಿಕ್ಸ್ 2, ಅಪೆಂಡಿಕ್ಸ್ 3, 4 ಲೈಕ್ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದನ್ನು ರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ಲಿಸರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕೆಮೆಲಿಯನ್ ಆರ್ that is restricted from the international trades, and that is in international market that is very valuable thing.
Normal lizards, sir.
Maybe some characteristics with some characteristics, like they know.
If they come to our hostel only, they
They know. I guess this is not, because in foreign also you will get this. That means one picture ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಇದೆ. ಕೆಮೆಲಿಯನ್ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಂಥರ ಗ್ರೀನ್.
they tame all that.
Maybe because of medicine purpose or something, we don't know. Okay, the wildlife trade, that is smuggle, ಕಳ್ಳ ಸಾಗಾಣಿಕೆ, that is not a legal thing. Okay, so they are dependent on these. Okay, next, what are the characteristics of the tribes? Have their own traditions, customs, rules and regulation. Next,
Clothing is independent.
Clothing, they have their own culture of clothing.
And
Food style, their own food style. Okay. Okay. What are the reasons for tribal uprisings? In our last class, do we discuss this?
Yes, sir.
Reason for tribal uprising. Tell me, what are the reasons? The first thing was British land revenue policies. So what made them to come against the Britishers if they started land revenue policy? Because before they are the owners of the land, because of this revenue policy, they become trespassers or illegal entry. Their own soil become foreign soil for them. Right? Next. Or for their habitat, they become foreign. Next.
Introduction of new administration in those
They did
areas.
not understood the legal things. They don't know what is divorce. They don't know what is, half murder. They don't know what is. Right? These are the things. So they don't know what is the fight, what is different sections, right? And they don't know what is impediment to suicide, right? These are the things. So when they fits in the legal things, the acts which normally they will do, that will become illegal. So they are punishable offences. So they don't like this. So this is another reason for their uprising. Next.
They put hands into their culture. And
Okay, they thought this is illegal interference, illegal or unwanted interference for their own culture because they are following their own human sacrifice and rest of the cultures which they follow normally. Next. Next reason for the tribal uprising.
Army to guard all
Okay,
the
in
area.
the British government, they sent the British army, the policemen
To maintain the law and
to maintain the order. Last class, everyone? Yes, you. Yes, you. In our last class? Yes, not Sumana, you only. Absent. Okay.
Money
Enter tribal land.
Christian missionaries.
Christian missionaries. That is where we stopped, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Christian missionaries activities which were started, right?
Yes, sir.
Absolute motive was the exploitation of the tribals. Their
What?
Exploitation of the
Okay, the observed motive of the Mainlanders to exploit these tribes, and they exploited in all ways. They exploited economically, socially, right? And they exploited. They did they did rapes, murders, and all, right? These are the things. So Christian missionary activity is also one of the reason behind this uprising. So what they did, they came as a missionary, and missionary means what? So serving them. But how did this service become an illegal thing for them? They did not just serve. They, along with the service, they also had their intention behind. What is the intention? To convert these non-religious tribals into a religion called Christianity, right? So for that, what are the kind of service they started to pose? They started to give education for the beginning, and they started to give health facility, sanitation facility. These are the kinds. And by giving these things, what they told, you are the non-human, non-civic people, and I am here, which was sent by the God to me, God to here, to serve you, to make you a human. Non-civic to civic. Now ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರೋದೇ ನಮಗೆ ದೇವರು ಕಳಿಸಿರೋದು ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಉದ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಥರದಲ್ಲಿ. And people, some of the civilians, they become fool and they thought yes. But tribal people, they have much more clarity on their own culture, and tribal people, they are more common sense people. So they understood this, and what they did, they started to hit back in the form of uprising. So these Britishers are the Christians. That's why this Christian missionary activity, you can link this into this in this area. This is the thing. Yen brother. ಮುಂದೆ ಈಗ ಒನ್ ಬೈ ಒನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಯು ಟು ನೋ ಆಲ್ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ನೇಮ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ ಹೆಸರು ಬರ್ಸಿ ಆ ಟ್ರೈಬಿಗೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ. ಓಕೆ, ವೈ ದೇ ರಿವೋಲ್ಟೆಡ್. ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಈ ತರ ಯಾವ UPSC ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಯು ಟು ನೋ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಆಂಥ್ರೋಪಾಲಜಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಮೈ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ನನಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟ್ರೈಬ್ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಿಮಗೆ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಹೆಸರು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು. ಅಂಡ್ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ ಹೆಸರು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು ಬಿಕಾಸ್ if we post it to Eastern India, like Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಪೋಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆದರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್, ಹೊಸ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್, ಓಕೆ ಐ ಆಮ್ ದಿ ಮುಂಡಾ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ದಿ ಸಾಂತಾಲ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದು ನೀವು ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಸಾಂತಾಲ್, ರೈಟ್, ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸಾಂತಾಲ್ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ UPSC ಆಸ್ಪಿರೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ AS. ನೀವು ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಾಂತಾಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಬಾರ್ದು, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಒರಾನ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಬಾರ್ದು. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ನೋ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಟು ಮೀ, ಐ ನೋ ಯು. Not as an individual, but as a community, I know you. Okay, these are the things Britishers did for you, right? Oh, I have studied in my class. ಮೈ ಟೀಚರ್ ಥಾಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಈಗ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಒನ್ ಬೈ ಒನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಏನು ನಾನು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಲೈಕ್ ಬಿರ್ಸಾ ಮುಂಡಾ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇ ಒಂದು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಕಲ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಕೋನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಕ್ರಿಫೈಸ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಿರ್ಸಾ ಮುಂಡಾ ವೈ ದೇ ಕೇಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಮುಂಡಾ, ಐ ಕಮ್ ಟು ದಟ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇ ಒಂದು ಸಿಂಗಬುಂಗ ಕಲ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಲಿಜಿಯನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದೆಮ್. ಸಿಂಗಬುಂಗ ಕಲ್ಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ರಿಲಿಜಿಯನ್ ಕೈಂಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಇವರು ಕ್ರಿಶ್ಚಿಯನಿಗೆ ಬನ್ನಿ ಅದು ಬಿಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ದಿಸ್ ಮುಂಡಾ ದೇ ಡಿಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಇಟ್. ಸೊ ಮುಂಡಾ ರೆಬೆಲಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಹೀಗೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಇನ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ದೇ ನೇಮ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ sinners, ಪಾಪಿಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕ್ರಿಶ್ಚಿಯನ್ ಮಿಷನರೀಸ್ ದೇ ನೇಮ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್. ಯು ಆರ್ ದಿ sinners and we are sent by the God to wash your sin, to wipe your sin. ನೀವು ಪಾಪಿಗಳು, ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರೋದೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾಪವನ್ನು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಸಿನ್ನರ್ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ನೋಟೆಡ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಸಿನ್ನರ್ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್, ಪಾಪಿಗಳ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ some of the tribes they conducted some dacoity, and right after that continuous dacoity by the same tribal groups. See, that is coincident. In some of the tribal groups in northeastern India, the same tribal groups they are involved in some of the dacoities. So because of that entire tribal group, for that tribe they named or they put a board as a criminal tribe. Even today we call them as a criminal tribes. In our CRPC also it is mentioned like that. So these are the things. So these are the reason for their uprising against the Britishers. Okay, tribal uprising. So let us go one by one, right? Take heading important tribal movements of India. Let us go one by one. The first one, Chauwas. Chauwas, the place called Marabhum and Danabhum. Today these two is in West Bengal. Didi. Chauwas, Marabhum and Danabhum, Didi area. This was the one where the first tribal revolt which was witnessed within India against British revenue policy. See, sometime in prelims they will ask, Chauwas revolted against the Britishers because of what reason? The different reason. In unwanted interference, they followed untouchability, different. Here, against British revenue policy, underlying revenue policy. Chauwas of the Marabhum and Danabhum region of the West Bengal, they revolted in the modern Indian history against the East India Company or against the Britishers for the first time. And what is the reason for the revolt? Revenue policy, British revenue policy. And what are the revenue policy they followed in West Bengal? Zamindar. So against Zamindar. So why? What made them to collect revenue? 1965, Allahabad, 1965 which treaty? Because of which treaty they got rights to collect revenue over Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Allahabad Treaty of 1765. So after this revenue collection rights over Bengal, Bihar and Orissa, they started to collect more and more revenue, not only in the civil society but also tribals. So because of that, they started to revolt against the Britishers. Chauwas. So this was the right. So I am Mr. Sankesh Chauwar. I am the MLA of this district and I introduce Markandre. When you visited West Bengal. Okay, oh I know you. I know your ancestors. Okay, you revolted against British revenue policy, right? Yes, okay. I don't know who is he on the Kelvar. Okay, something Chauwar means you must connect these two. Okay, is like revenue policy. Yes, what is Zamindari? It is very difficult, no? Start
They'll only not know that.
they only not know. Oh, you know, like in the family function. You are my fellow.
That is two places.
Yes, Marabhum and Danabhum are their region of West Bengal, today's West Bengal. So, is no nepetmunded. Okay, you are from Marabhum or Danabhum of that region. You just ask him. Okay, Mr. Sankesh, you are from which region? Next, coals. See, I want you to know all the tribal names. Otherwise, these tribal names is not important for UPSC. But I want you to write these names. Coals. Because tribe ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ. As an officer, you must know because ಅಂಬಾನಿ ಅಡಾನಿಗಳು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದಿದ್ರು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ. ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಈಗಲೇ ಕಲ್ತ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇವರು. ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ರೆ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಕಲಿಯಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ. So you must learn now. ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ. And if you get time, normal after your degree and even after your exam, read the Tribal India book, which was written by Nadim Hasan, right? Nadim Hasan, Tribal India by Nadim Hasan, my teacher, okay, my teacher for anthropology. There are two teachers for me, three teachers in anthropology. One physical anthropologist done by some doctors from Hyderabad, I don't know him. I forget his name. No. That Sosin, how can I forget Sosin, man? Physical anthropology means that is genetics part. I only good at genetics part because I had that in zoology in my degree, so I am not much concentrated in his class. Because of that, I don't know him. I forgot his name. That physical anthropology part and social anthropology, everything is done by Sosin, ma'am. So tribal India, tribal anthropology is done by our Nadim Hasan sir. He himself was the author for that book, Tribal India. And what he did, he came to class and he explained his own book. Yes, he explained in a very well manner. ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಆ ಬುಕ್ ಬರೀತಾ ಅವ್ರು ಎಂತ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಬುಕ್ ಬರೀತಾ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಆಯ್ತು ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿ, ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಸಂಜೆ ಓದ್ಕೊ ಬನ್ನಿ ಅಂತಿದ್ರು. ಓಕೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರು, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಅವ್ರು ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಓಕೆ ಇದು ನಾನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ ಪಂಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಬಂದ್ರು, ನನ್ಗೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಫ್ರಮ್ ಲಕ್ನೋ, ಉತ್ತರ ಪ್ರದೇಶ್, ರೈಟ್. ಲಕ್ನೋ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಂಥ್ರೋಪಾಲಜಿ ಒಂದು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಚೇರ್ ಇದೆ, ಆಫೀಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಆಂಥ್ರೋಪಾಲಜಿ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಯೂಸ್ ದಿ HOD ಆಫ್ ದ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಲಕ್ನೋ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ. ಏಜ್ ಓಕೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ವೈಫ್ ಇಬ್ರು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬರೋದು ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಏಜ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅವರು ಇದ್ರ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಸ್ಟೋರೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಆಂಥ್ರೋಪಾಲಜಿ ಹೇಗೆ, ಲೈಕ್ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಹರಾಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ which was faced by each tribes. Even he visited Karnataka. Koraga tribes of Kundapura region, Koragas. He even for a month or 20 days he stayed with them. Okay, ಅವರ ಹಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ಹಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ವಾಸ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರ್ದಿರೋ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಅದು. ಅವರು he himself, he was not an armchair anthropologist, field anthropologist, field ಗೆ ಇಳಿದು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. Okay, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ his own experiences he noted in that book, Tribal India. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಲೈವ್ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಫೋಟೋಸ್. ನೀವು ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಬುಕ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಓಪನ್ ದಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ಫೋಟೋಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಫೋಟೋಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಈವನ್ ಕುರುಗ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೂ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಿನ ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ. ಲೈಕ್ ಅವರು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಯಾರಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಇಟ್. ದೇ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಡ್ರಮ್ ಬೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಟೆಂಪಲ್. ಕುರುಗಾಸ್, their work is to beat the drum in temple, in front of the temple. Okay, so that is a Karnataka, coastal Karnataka tribe. If you go to North Karnataka, Hakki Pikki ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಜೈನ್ ಕುರುಬಾಸ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಟೇಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕೋಲ್. Coals are the tribes of the Chota Nagpur Plateau. They are huge. Today they are hugely concentrated in Madhya Pradesh. If you get Madhya Pradesh cadre, I am Mr. Sanket Kohl ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ I know you won't get Madhya Pradesh cadre. Okay. They revolted in 1831-32 under the leadership of Buddho Bhagat. Very, very, very important. 31-32. Buddho Bhagat. Person name. Against Britishers' expansionist policy. Against Britishers' expansionist policy. What is expansionist policy? They not even acquired the civil society, but also some of the forests, right? These are our forests. They started to acquire the forests and all. So against this acquisition policy of the Britishers, they revolted against the Britishers. So here the code word is expansionist behavior of the Britishers. Why Coles revolted in the British? Because of the expansionist policy of the Britishers. This should be your answer. And where coals located? Chota Nagpur Plateau, today in Madhya Pradesh region.
What is this Buddha Bhagat?
Buddha Bhagat was the leader in that 1931-32. Again, I'll come to this. Like, these are the outside people who came as a leader for the revolt. Okay, I'll come to that again. After discussing all individual tribes, I'll again come to Buddha Bhagat. Yes.
Sir, ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ minerals ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ,
Yes.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ revolt ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ಅವ್ರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಮೈನ್ಗೆ
Okay, why they came Britishers? Why they expanded their region into that Chota Nagpur? British expansionist policy means what? ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಟೆರಿಟರಿನ ನಾನು ಕೋಲ್ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಸೆಟ್ಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಬಂದು ನೋ ಯು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಗೋ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೈ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡಿ ಮಿನರಲ್ ಇದೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಾನ್ಷನಿಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ. ಮಿನರಲ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಆ ಥರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್. ದ ಸಡನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಟೆರಿಟರಿ. ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಮಿನರಲ್ ಇದೀನಿ ಎದ್ದೋಗ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲಿಸನ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಜಾಗ ನಂದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎದ್ದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ನಂದೆ ಆ ಥರ ರೈಟ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿನರಲ್ ಇರೋಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನಂದು ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಅದು ನಿಂದೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ರೈಟ್. ಆ ಥರ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಟೆರಿಟರಿ. After that, they will use the territory. Why they will expand here instead of going into Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh? ಈಚೆ ಹೋಗೋದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಚೋಟಾ ನಾಗ್ಪುರ್ ಪ್ಲಾಟೋ ಕಡೆನೇ ಯಾಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರು? Why? Right. Eastern India ಕಡೆನೇ ಯಾಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು instead of Western India? Minerals. Bengal, right? Minerals and forest. Coals enough. Coals. ಬೈ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕೆಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಮುಖೇಶ್ ಖೋಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಐ ನೋ ಯು ಅನ್ಬೇಕು. ML ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂನ್ಸಿ MLA ಮುಖೇಶ್ ಖೋಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಓ ಖೋಂಡ್ ಐ ನೋ ಯು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಹೌ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಇಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಒಡಿಶಾ ರೀಜನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. They revolted with the Britishers on 1846 under the leadership of Chakra Besai. Under the leadership of Chakra Besai. Because the Konds are famous for their unique culture, they followed so many evils as a part of their culture, and one of them was human sacrifice. Britishers banned human sacrifice. You can say Governor General Hardinge, he was the one.
Harding first.
First. He was the one. Britishers banned the human sacrifice. So because of this, you can say Britishers banned human sacrifice, and they thought this is the unwanted interference in their culture by the British. So they revolted against the Britishers on 1846. Khons ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಕ್ರಿಫೈಸ್ ನೆನಪಾಗಬೇಕು. ಖೋನ್ಸ್, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಖೋನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಓಕೆ, ಯು ಆರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಒಡಿಶಾ, ರೈಟ್? ಒಡಿಶಾ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಒಡಿಶಾ.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Khons are from Odisha. They are all eastern. See, ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಈಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಎನಿ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್, ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸಿಚುಯೇಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ಈಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಒಡಿಶಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಟ್ರೈಬ್, ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಒಡಿಶಾ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್. You know, Lakshadweep, not Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar majority tribes, and this one Jharkhand majority tribes, Chhattisgarh majority tribes, Odisha majority tribes. These are the tribal states. Okay, when BJP government, they took the name of Madam Murmu as a presidential candidate. the government of Odisha, government of Chhattisgarh, and government of Jharkhand, even though they are the anti-BJP government, then also they supported Madam Murmu as a person, candidate for the presidential election. The reason is if they went against this candidate, they will lose next election in their state. So this is the idea. That is the thing which BJP did while naming the presidential candidate. Otherwise, they will not get support from the non-BJP states. They got support. Presidential election ಹೇಗೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ನಾನು ಅದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಯಾರು ಓಟ್ ಹಾಕೋದು ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಓಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ ಎಸ್ ಆಲ್ MLAs should vote. ಬಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ MLA ಓಟ್ ಬೇಡ. ಓಕೆ ಬಟ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಐ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಈಗ ಬೇಡ. ಈಗ ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ? ಕೋಡ್ಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ Kacha Naga, tribes of Assam. They are the tribes, they ruled under the British because of their expansionist behavior and their revenue policy on the newly conquered territory, on newly acquired territory. Around 1893, they are the last. 1893. See, these years are not important. Revenue policy. Next, Koya. Recall all the tribes name which we learned now. Chows, Holes, Khonds, Kacha Naga, Koya. Okay. Koya rebellion was very important because, right, Koya rebellion, which has happened in 1920 to 24, 4 years. While discussing Gandhiji, I'll again come back to this Koya rebellion because why you should respect the leaders of the tribal movements more than our national forefathers. For this debate, you will get a proper guidance, a proper answer, proper conclusion in this discussion. ಯಾರು ಅರ್ಧದಿಂದ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೇನೆ. Why you should ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. Why you should no. Koya rebellion, there is a story. Okay, one of the leader from this, the leader for this tribe, when they revolted against the Britishers, the leadership did not came within the tribe. The leadership came from the outsider. I'll mention the name, Sitaram Raj. But the same, our nationalist leaders of the time, Mahatma Gandhi, he visited the same place during the same year, 1922-24, when which was happened. And the leaders of this revolt was hanged by the Britishers. At that time, they were sit with the Britishers. Okay, our nationalist leaders. And our media, they did not praise it, the leader, one who fought for this country, but they focused the nationalist leader. That's why you should praise the tribal leaders instead of our nationalist leader, means because of these kind of incidents. And this is the recorded incident. There is nothing to hide here. Okay, take this Koya rebellion of 1920-24. Again, while discussing Gandhiji, I will come to this topic. Okay, Koyas, they are the inhabitants of the bank of river Godavari. That is, you can say Godavari agency. And you know what is agency? Godavari agency area. They revolted against the British forest laws. And exploitative behavior of the British on the tribes. Initially, the revolt was led by a tribal head called Muttadars. And center of this revolt was Rampachodavaram, today's Andhra Pradesh. the center of this revolt was Rampachodavaram. Later, the revolt was led by a non-tribal leader called Alluri Sita Ramaraju. Later, a revolt was taken over by a non-tribal leader, underline that, non-tribal. Our leadership came from outside the tribe. Alluri Sita Ramaraju, very important name in Indian history. Alluri Sita Ramaraju. You must praise these kind of persons instead of our national leaders, along with our national leaders. You can say Alluri Sita Ramaraju. He conducted attacks in many areas, but he conducted attacks over the Britishers in many areas, but the main attack on police station, main and important attack which every history books quoted was attack on police station of Chintapalli village, Chintapalli, Andhra Pradesh. Chintapalli village, Chintapalli police station, Chintapalli. And Koyas killed notorious police officers and notorious forest officers. Notorious, yes. Forest officers. So because of this, British formed the committee against these Koyas to suppress the revolt. Britishers formed the committee to suppress this revolt. Right? Rutherford was the commissioner for this operation. Rutherford was the commissioner for this operation against Koya. Rutherford was the commissioner, and Alluri Sita Ramaraju was caught and hanged. The moment assumed very importance because it will coincide with the revolt. This Koya rebellion revolt assumes very importance in the Indian history, Indian modern history, because this revolt coincident with non-cooperation movement of our nationalist leaders. Put a full stop there. I'll again take this while discussing non-cooperation movement of them. Okay. The same day which Alluri Sita Ramaraju was shot dead, Gandhiji was in Andhra Pradesh. Same place. Okay. Shot dead means killed, not through this one. Britishers, media, and national leaders. Britishers, media, and national leaders, they are not bothered about this tribal movement, and the media did not highlight tribal movements and did not highlight the tribal leaders. Instead, media highlighted the national leaders. At that time, the non-cooperation movements, which was India witnessed, and the leader of the non-cooperation movement, Mahatma Gandhiji, was there when this incident was happened. He was there in Andhra Pradesh, and this incident happened in Andhra Pradesh. Some of the journals which mentioned this, the journals of right wings of that time, they mentioned and they criticized Gandhi for this, and because of that, we have some of the documents regarding this. And Alluri Sita Ramaraju's death was really a bad thing in our modern Indian history, because he was the one, he fought for tribes. He was not a tribe. He fought for tribes and he lost his life. And in our Independence Day, nobody talks about Alluri Sita Ramaraju, right? But everybody talks about our nationalist leaders, one who that times media highlighted, right? Some of the fellows, they even take the name of our revolutionary leaders like Bhagat Singh and all, right? But not these tribal leaders. They are not tribes, they are the civil society leaders. But they fought for the sake of the tribes and they lost their lives. Then also nobody know about these tribal leaders, right? So this is a kind of this is like our society. Being a civil servant, you must talk about this, right? Again, re-invite your history or revisit your history and search for these kind of issues, and again spoke for these. Be a voice for these kind of incident. Again, drag this to limelight and tell to your future kids, no, this is a real history. No, this is also a real history, not just, right? So this is the entire Koya movement, Koya rebellion. Next, Munda. Being a civil servant, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸ್ಪೀಚಲ್ಲೂ ನಿಮ್ಮ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಎದ್ದು ಕಾಣಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸ್ಪೀಚಲ್ಲೂ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಎದ್ದು ಕಾಣಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಿ, ಆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಐ ಎಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಕೆ ಎಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು 5 minutes ಮಾತಾಡೋ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೇ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಚೀಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಲಿ, ಒಂದು 5 minutes ಕೊಟ್ಟೇ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆ 5 minutes ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ನೀವು ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರನ್ನೇ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಕರೆದು ನೀವು ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಏನು ಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ 1 ಸೆಕೆಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಪಟ್ಟ ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೀವು ಆ ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಐ ನೋ ದಿಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಅಲ್ಲೂರಿ ಸೀತಾರಾಮರಾಜು ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಸಂಘಗಳಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಇಯರ್ಲಿ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ. ಇವಾಗಂತೂ ಜನಜಾತಿ ಗೌರವ ದಿವಸ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮುಂಡಾ ಡೇಗೆ. ಅವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮಾಡೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅವತ್ತು ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಅವತ್ತು ಹೋಗಿ ಅವತ್ತು ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಸನ್ನ ಅವರು ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದರು, ಅದು ಸಾಕು. ಎನಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಎನಫ್. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಟಾಕ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಮುಂಡಾ ರೆಬೆಲಿಯನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೆಸರು? ಮುಂಡಾ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ವಿಚ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ? Central region, okay. From where to where? You know Panchamala hills of Gujarat. Start. Mundas are the tribal groups. They are called by different names in different regions of India. They are called as Naikdas in Gujarat, in Panchamala hills. They are called by different names in different regions of India. They are famous as Naikdas. Naikdas. In Panchmahal hills of the Gujarat region, Panchmahal. They revolted against the British under Naikdas. They revolted against the British under the leadership of Roop Singh and Jaria Bhagat. Roop Singh and Jaria Bhagat. Very, very, very important, these names. Yes. Roop Singh and Jaria Bhagat. It was against the British policy of interference and expansionist. It was against the British policy of interference and expansionist policy. Underline. Interference and expansionist. And they declared the formation of second independent tribal kingdom in modern Indian history. They themselves declared we are independent. And this is the second independent tribal kingdom. Independent means what? We are independent from the Britishers. We know how to govern ourselves. First I will again come to that while discussing different tribes. Okay? They are the second independent tribes who declared themselves as they are independent from the Britishers. this Munda rebellion become successful is because they came or they divided the responsibility into two. The military or the muzzle power was the military power, you can say the military power, and the rebellion, association, grouping, and everything was the responsibility of Group Singh. See, they divided responsibility into two. The military responsibility took by Roop Singh and religious responsibility took by Jarya Bhagat. Jarya was the head of the religion. See, again, in consider any kind of society, the two kinds of people was normally you will witness to see or you will witness. What are the two kinds of people? One is true religioustic people, one who follow the religious leaders' words, and other people one who follow the political parties' views or political leaders' their talks. Right. So, if you made political leader as the part of this rebellion, a leader of this rebellion, the religious people they will not listen that person. If you make these religious people as a leader, the political people want to follow these political leaders, they will not listen. So Swamiji ಮತ್ತೆ ಚೀಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ರಿವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ OBC ಸೇರಿಸಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ SC ಸೇರಿಸಬೇಕು, ಯಾರು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು? Not just political party, not just a political leader, but also religious leader of that caste, right? Same thing. They're all following whatever happened in our modern Indian history. What is Satyagraha? What is Bharat Jodo? Padayatra. Who started Padayatra? Gandhiji. So what is the motivation for today's Padayatra? Modern Indian history. What is this freedom? Freedom fight. Freedom Park. ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸತ್ಯಾಗ್ರಹ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಸತ್ಯಾಗ್ರಹ, ಅಥವಾ ನಾವು ಏನು ಊಟ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಮುಟ್ಟಲ್ಲ, ಉಪವಾಸ ಸತ್ಯಾಗ್ರಹ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಟ್? ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಬುಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ಮೇಲ್ಸ್, which you can do for the existing government. So what is the motivation for today's politics? Modern Indian history. The frontline politicians, what they did, they are following. We are following. Our politicians, they are following, right? So this is the one best example. Why Munda rebellion was somewhat, some extent successful, because they know how to go. They divided responsibility to one through Jarya Bhagat and another one through Roop Singh. Roop Singh took over the political responsibility, and Jarya Bhagat took over the religious responsibility, and they both fight each other, not each other. They fight unitedly against the Britishers. However, the both were killed and Munda rebellion was suppressed.
Sir,
Yes.
these two took responsibility and second independent associate tribal kingdom was formed. Sir, then
What?
these two leaders.
After they themselves declared as we are the independent, then Britishers become angry and they killed. Like that. Orions. Next slide. Orions. OROANS. Orions. Orions rebellion. This Orion rebellion,
Sir, which region?
I'll come to that, which has happened in 1915 by the tribal groups of the Chota Nagpur Plateau and MP region, Madhya Pradesh region. And they revolted against the British under the leadership of Bhaga Jatra Bhagat. Yes. Jatra Bhagat. Confuse ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, because the initial name also same. ಅದೇ ತರ Jatra Bhagat under the leadership of Jatra Bhagat in Chota Nagpur against foreigners, against Pakistanis.
Sir, ಯಾವ policy ಅಂತ sir?
Right, reason, not against. It is actually right. I'll come to that. ಯಾಕೆ urgent ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? It was actually started as a reformist movement. This is not because of any sudden impact, any sudden reason. Sumana, this is not because of any sudden reason. There is a story behind this. Because of that, I did not quote it in the beginning. Right? It is actually reformist movement in the beginning. What is reformist movement?
To bring a change.
Within the society. Like Bhakti movement is a reformist movement ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, or some other movement is a reform. So they wanted change in the society. So this Jatra Bhagat, a rebellion which is started within the society as a what kind of revolt? Reformist movement. But in a later note, it became popular as a Bhagat movement and Tana Bhaga movement. Bhagat movement and Tana Bhaga movement. Tana Bhaga movement. Different names. Tana Bhaga movement. So this became a part of the Indus freedom struggle. Initially, when it was a civil movement or when it was a reformist movement, it started to preach monotheism within the community. It started to preach there is only one God, and that is our God was the only one God. Like the tribal God, he himself was the God. There is no Christian God here. But when Britishers came, they started to tell, no, Christian God is your God, not your tribal God. They did not follow because at the time, because of this Jatra Bhagat, they united together as a monotheistic way. When they united together and they preached, they followed, they practiced one single religion, that too in a monotheistic form. If they are polytheists, this is not a problem. Idunu puja ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಅದನ್ನು ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. Under Jatra Bhagat, they become a monotheist. Right? They become a monotheist and they did not listen to preach Christianity. They did not listen to pursue Christianity as a religion. So the friction started in between them, English and these Orients. So finally, Orients' rebellion was suppressed by the Britishers. Right? Very registered. They followed monotheism. I want that monotheism word in your answer. If they are polytheists, is this any friction? Maybe not. Again, two religion ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. That is again a friction. But under Jatra Bhagat, they practiced monotheism. Because of that, this became a problem. What is monotheism? One God. And what is the God here? Their tribal God. So they did not very happy. They did not happy to practice Christianity, or they did not follow the Britishers' cautions. In prelims, if the Chota Nagpur tribal revolts, uprising, some of the Chota Nagpur tribal uprising, they did not started as a rebellion or revolt against the Britishers, but it initially started as a reformist movement. And the statement is yes or no?
Yes.
Or some of the tribal movements are the reformist movements in its initial note. Yes. Next, Santal. Very, very, very important. Mention tribal names. Everybody. 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 ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರ?
Yes sir.
ಇಲ್ಲ.
No sir.
No, sir.
Everybody in a single voice.
Chas, kos, kons, kachara, moya,
Santal. Santal rebellion 1854 to 56. They are the tribals of Rajmahal Hills of Bihar. They lost their lands due to British revenue policy. In 1854, the violent rebellion started. In 1854, a violent armed rebellion started, and the Santal uprising was led by Sidhu and Kanhu, two leaders. Sidhu and Kanhu, they are the Santal uprising leaders. Sidhu and Kanhu. They defeated British army while discussing 1857 revolt. The reason behind the revolt, I will again come to this. Okay, Sidhu and Kanhu, and they revolted against Britishers, and even they defeated the Britishers. They defeated the Britishers. British side, which was commanded by General Borrow, Borrough, General Borrow. So after defeating a branch of Britishers of this region, they declared themselves as a first independent tribal kingdom in modern Indian history. What is second? Mundas. So Santals of Rajmahal Hills, they are the first independent tribal kingdom. This may be a prelims question. Okay, I told you, Rajmahal Hills of Bihar. In prelims, Patna was the first independent tribal kingdom in modern Indian history. Yes. Because ಕೆಲವು book ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಟ್ನಾ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. That may be a prelims question. So at the end, the Britishers suppressed the revolt anyway by force. Britishers suppressed the revolt. See why Santal in the beginning of the Santal, I told you this is very important. Anta ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ important ಆಗ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ I don't know. Why it is very important? Not just that, they defeated Britishers under General Borrow. So they defeated British. Look at this. They defeated British through their bow and arrow. They defeated the guns through bow and arrow. So this exploded the myth of invisibility of the Britishers or not? ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಗೆ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ವಿಸಿಬಲ್ ಅವರು ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಮಿತ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಮೂಢನಂಬಿಕೆ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಅದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋಡ್, ಅದು ಹೋಯ್ತಾನೆ. ಕಾಮನ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ಫಾರ್ ಎ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ, this victory of the bow and arrow people, of these tribes, their victory over the Britishers, it exploded the myth of Britishers invisible. Yes or no? And that itself became a motivation for the civil society for 1857 war, because this has happened in 1854 and 56. Right? Very next year, 1857, the first Indian independence war. The first war of India's independence, according to British Savarkar. Right? So, this is the motivation for the civil society. Fuel, you can say. This was the spark which was found, and that set fire in 1857 revolt. And it exploded a myth. What is a myth? They are the superheroes. So it shows to the world we can defeat the guns through bow and arrow if we are united together. So the willpower is more important than the arm power. The willpower is more stronger than the muscle power or arm power or weapon. Right? So because of that, Santal become very important in your studies. Not because of their expansion, their revolt.
They might translate it.
Yes. Think. Think and ask. Last thing and further, last thing. Next, Savara. Savara. Savara is the tribe of Srikakulam region of Srikakulam in which south or north?
So, this is the first tribe to defeat British.
Yes, you can say like that. They are the first tribal groups one who defeated not entire British, but one who came to fight with them, they got victory. One who came to fight against them, they got victory.
Till now, any tribe?
No, they are the one. Because of that, they become very important. Santals. Okay. Savara tribes of the Srikakulam district. Srikakulam is a district of which state of India? Andhra agency. Srikakulam agency. They revolted during 1857. Because of that, our historians, they included this into 1857 war, part of. This revolt, see, what is 1857 revolt? Against Britishers, right? They also acted against the Britishers. The reason may be different, but the procedure same, revolt against the Britishers. So this is part of 1857 revolt, because this was happened in 1857. This is concentrated on their own region, not as India, not as an overview of India. They revolted for their own sake, for their own problem, but actually in practical note, they revolted against Britishers, right? So it is a part of 1857 revolt. The leader of the revolt was Dundasena. They revolted against British because of this British forest law. Why forest laws become very threat for these tribals, or why they consider this as something which is very bad for them? Because forest was their livelihood. You know, some of the leaves, some of the waxes, they are the lifeline, and that is the only livelihood for them. The leaves like BDLA, right, and the spices related leaves which they normally get in their forest land, and some of the seeds which have commercial value, and this one, the forest black pepper, cardamensu, and some of the chilies in the forest, and some of the tubers from the forest, some of the medicinal plants. So through forest laws they restricted this. So against this forest law they revolted. So the time they revolted, that matches with the 1857 revolt. So because of that, this is the part of the 1857 revolt. So this may be a previous question. Which tribal revolt is a part of 1857 revolt? Savara rebellion of 1857. Okay. Or Godavari agency rebellion, or Sheshachalam. You know what is the Sheshachalam is also that part only. Andhra Pradesh. Srikakulam agency revolt, or Srikakulam forest revolt, whatever. That is the right answer in your options. Okay. Next, Tadau Kuki tribe. That is famous as Tadau Kuki rebellion of 1917. Tadau Kuki rebellion. They are the tribals of the Nagaland and Manipur region. 17. 17, yes, because in 70 we got in 17. They are the tribals of the Manipur and Nagaland, revolted under the leadership of Rani Gidanelu, very important. Rani Gidanelu, what is the gender? Female, right? So this may be a prelims question. Who was the female leader of the tribal revolt? Tadawakuki's rebellion, Rani Gidanelu, right? She revolted along with her cousin Jodonang. Zodonang was her cousin. So both revolted against the Britishers because of their presence in forest area. Britishers' presence in forest area and their revenue system. Rani Gidanelu is very important because when the rebellion went into peak, she was caught and she was arrested in a lie. She was arrested, and she was kept in a prison by the Britishers. She was released. See, this fellow lost his life. When the war was went into peak, the Britishers shot dead this fellow, but she went into prison. And she got released only after the India's independence. She got released only after India's independence. When India won independence, she was released. Because of this, our Prime Minister Nehru, he gave a title like she was the daughter of India's independence. Okay, because of this fellow, he lost his life. For him, there is no title. She went into prison and she came out. And she became a daughter of India's independence. So why Bhils revolted against revenue policy? So which revenue policy Rajasthan area experienced? Mahalwari, right? Zamindari, Eastern India. Raitwari, Southern India. Mahalwari, Western India. That is what. Next, Chenchus. Again, this is one of the famous tribes. If you look at the Tribal India book, you will get this. Chenchus of Nallamalai Hills. Nallamalai Hills. Nallamalai Hill means Andhra Pradesh again. Nallamalai Hills of Andhra Pradesh. During 1922, when non-cooperation movement was started in the freedom struggle, the revolt was led by K. Hanumantu. The revolt was led by K. Hanumantu against British forest laws. And this Hanumantu organized Palanadu Forest Satyagraha. What is Palanadu? It's a Kannada Valanadu, not border. Valanadu Forest Satyagraha. He organized Palanadu in Telugu, Palanadu Forest Satyagraha against forest laws. And he was shot dead by the Britishers. See, these tribal leaders are very important. Sometimes Alluri Sitarama Raju, K. Hanumantu, these two people are the singers of the Vijayanagara Empire. And the statement is wrong. They are the tribal leaders. Right? Who is these fellows? First option singer, second option laureates, third option scholars, fourth option tribal leaders. Okay? Very important. Chenchus. Huh? Four. So, start from the beginning. I guess enough. Start from the beginning. See, ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ಯಾಕೆ ರಿವೋಲ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ. ಐ ವೆಂಟ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲಿ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನೋ ದ ಸಮ್, ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನೋ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ನೇಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್. ಹೇಗೆ? Everybody start, say unanimously at one voice, as a one voice. this is your homework. Learn and come tomorrow. I'll not expect you to write and come. Learn and come. The tribe of what hill? Nearest to our Tri-Junction area of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala. Nilagiri Hills, tribes of Nilagiri Hill. Learn and come. They are the buffalo rearing tribes, okay, and matriarchal and matrilocal tribes. And women are respected the most. And buffalo and the milk was very sacred for them. Buffaloes are very sacred for them. They are buffalo rearing tribes. And tendu leaves was their tendu leaves means BDL. Tendu leaves was their livelihood along with that buffalo. Tendu leaves and this one buffalo are their livelihood. Learn and come. I will not reveal the name of the tribe. Just search for the tribe and come. Do you want the name?
Sir, you
ಏನು?
will tell everything.
No. That is just the introduction. There is a lot many. PhD ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು ಆ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಾ ಇದೆ ಸ್ಟೋರೀಸ್. ನಾನು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು, ಇನ್ನೂ ತುಂಬಾ ಇದೆ. ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಮ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ನಿಯರ್ ಟು ಯು ಅಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ Tri-Junction in a tribe. And Nilgiri itself is very important in terms of environment. ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ನೀಲಗಿರಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಸತಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಆ ಪ್ಲೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ. ಟೋಡಾಸ್ ಅಂತ, ಓಕೆ, ಟೋಡಾ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, take it, nature and characteristics of the tribal uprising, and you must answer for this. Nature, take it, nature and characteristics of the tribal uprising. I'll give you 2 minutes. Answer it, not in this. Answer it in a last page. Think and answer. Nature and characteristics of the tribal uprising, or character of tribal uprising. Think and quote some points. How it differs from non-cooperation movement, how it differs from civil society movement, how it differs from rest of the movements. What is the nature and character of the tribal uprising? Think. How it is? Definitely it is a revolt. ಹೇಗೆ? ಯಾವ ತರ ಇತ್ತು revolt? Is it like the same which we witness in the normal society, or something different? Or what is the key characteristics of this? How it differs from rest? Or is it a really part of freedom struggle? Is it really a part of freedom struggle, or is it a localized issue? See, I don't want to answer. Think on that note. For them, Britishers are the real opposition party, or somebody one who come against them, like money lenders or local zamindars. They are also villains for them, not just British. So think on that note. What is the nature and characteristics of tribal uprising? See, here what we are listening, or where we are studying this, we are studying the modern Indian history. Modern Indian history, normally we will, while discussing Marathas, we did not discuss Shivaji because in UPSC, Anglo-Maratha war is important. While discussing Punjab, we did not discuss Ranjit Singh and his stuff. We discussed it after that. Because Anglo-Punjab or Anglo-Sikh was, we did not discuss the history of the Punjab and all. Anglo-Sikh. Here also, why we are discussing tribal uprising? Because tribal uprising against the English. So, is it really tribal uprising? That kind of thinking I needed from you now. Is this really against English, or it looks like a against English. Think and have 10-point note. Everybody, and I'm serious on this. In the last page, write at least 5 points. The nature and character of regular pricing. I'll give you maximum 2 minutes. I want 5 points from you. Just look at the leaders and all, how it differs. Is there a notion of nation, or it is against just immediate action against exploitation, or it is a reactionary revolts? Can you call it as anti-British? Can you call it as anti-colonialism? Like that. Think. Or is it a revolt as a solution for immediate problem, as an immediate solution for their local problem? Like this, think. Sometimes the revolts was led by outsiders, and they used them for their political motive also, to showcase, okay, these are my strength. Behind me, look at them. There are hundreds of persons. They use it indirectly with the drivers. So this is not entirely a national movement. This is not entirely against it. Sometimes they fall in the trap of some of the local politicians. Sometimes money lenders of their own country, the Indian money lenders, they exploited more than the Britishers. So because of that, this is the uprising against the money lenders. So you can't say this is a part of freedom struggle. Sometimes some revolts that quoted as a freedom struggle because that was happened in 1857. But actually that is not the one. So tell me, what is the nature and character of the revolt? 2 minutes I thought. Okay, from the last, what are the points you have written?
It's a local revolt as it is restricted to their local.
Okay.
It's just a revolt to protect their habitat and custom.
Okay, very good. Next. Okay, next. Okay, they don't know what is happening in some other area because they are not aware of the media and all, and they are not following what is happening in the nation. So that is very local movement. Next.
Not uprising because of they lost actuality.
Not uprising. Okay.
Because they lost their actuality, what they are following. Like they
Okay.
got mixed. Race.
Fine. Next.
And socially it was also affected.
Okay.
Economic exploitation by money lenders.
Okay. Next.
It was happened to solve their local problem.
Okay. Next.
Against the British and
Against British.
anti-British.
This is anti-British. See, that is what I want you to change. That is not actually anti-British.
Anti-colonialism.
That is not actually anti-colonialism. That is the reactionary movement against some exploitation. The exploitator may be Britishers, may not be. They don't care.
They are mainly lands, like revenue policy based on land, expansion based on land.
Because of that, this become anti-British. Otherwise, if the expansionist policy done by the Indian government, independent government also, this would become anti-Indian Naxalites. That itself is a Naxalism. Somebody living in a forest and come against the government means that itself is Naxalism. Nowadays, not even they should live in a forest. If they are living in a urban also, they are called urban Naxalites. You know this urban Naxalites concept. Right. Next. Say something.
We can see different leaders who are totally not into national movements
Okay.
and mainly based on land and religion, like different religions, like
Okay.
within them different sacrifices are in play.
Okay. Okay.
They fought for themselves.
Okay. 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 See, Munda rebellion ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ಸಿದ್ದ ನಾನು ಏನು ಬರ್ಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ? Who led the army? ನಾಯ್ಕ್ ದಾಸ್ ರೆಬೆಲಿಯನ್ ಬರ್ಸಿದ್ನ? ನಾಯ್ಕ್ ದಾಸ್ ಏನು ಬರ್ಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ನಾಯ್ಕ್ ದಾಸ್ ನೋ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಮುಂಡಾ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಮುಂಡಾ ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಹಾಕಿದೆ, ನಾನು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಾಯ್ಕ್ ದಾಸ್ ಹೋದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಮುಂಡಾ ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಹಾಕಿದೆ, ನಂಗೆ ಈಗ ನೆನಪಾಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಮುಂಡಾ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಮುಂಡಾ ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಹಾಕಿದೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಏನೋ ಮುಂಡಾ ಹೇಳಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ದೆನ್ ಐ ವೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ನಾಯ್ಕ್ ದಾಸ್. ಐ ಡಿಡ್ಂಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮುಂಡಾ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಮುಂಡಾ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ ಯಾರ್? Wait. That is also true. Wait. So Munda as a whole, ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನ. ನಾಯ್ಕ್ ದಾಸ್ in one part I discussed about that. But as a Munda, ಅದನ್ನ separate ಬಿರ್ಸಾ ಮುಂಡಾ and ಸಿಂಗಭಂಗ ಕಲ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸಿಂಗಭಂಗ ಹೇಳಿದ ನೆನಪಿದ್ರೆ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಬರ್ಸಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಟೇಕ್ ಮುಂಡಾ is a whole. I'll come to that. The ನಾಯ್ಕ್ ದಾಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Naik Das is a part of that region. Highlight Naik Das and take Munda as a separate one. Whole. Okay. You again notes ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಬೇಕಂತಿಲ್ಲ, ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಇದೆ. Don't worry. So this Munda they extended from Gujarat to Bihar region. So in the Gujarat Panchmahal hill side they are specially called Naik Das. So don't write that. We already written, I guess. Right. Panchmahal hills, Gujarat, Naik Das over. Now right in Munda they extended till Bihar. In Bihar they fought under the leadership of Birsa Munda. In Bihar they fought under the leadership of Birsa Munda. It was revolt against the Christian missionary. It was revolt against Christian missionary activity for the rights of sons of the soil. For the rights of sons of the soil and rights of religious freedom. See, we're discussing Munda. You must know 2-3 things. Munda, leader, Birsa Munda. I told you rights of the religious freedom. Just listen. This Birsa Munda, he was the leader and he started a cult. ಇದನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿದ ನೆನಪಿದೆ ನನಗೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. Listen, he started a cult called Singabonga. This Singabonga was the religious cult of these Mundas, and they are very serious on this cult, and they don't want to listen, or they don't want to praise some other god as their god. They wanted their own god. That itself is a Singabonga. That is a cult. So this cult was started by this Birsa Munda, and every Munda families, every Munda individual, they started to follow this cult. So when Christian missionaries they entered this Bihar region and they started to convert them to Christian, they did not wanted that and they started to went against Christians. So because of this, so this is a religious thing, and you will not get this thing in some other tribes. Because of that, this Munda is very important. So this Birsa Munda was arrested in 1901 and the movement ended. 1901. So entire Munda discuss ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸಿಂಗಭಂಗ ಹೇಳಿದ ನೆನಪಿದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ. This Munda was in North Indiaದಲ್ಲಿ largest area. From Panchmahal hills of Gujarat to Bihar. Bihar means below that Odisha, Chota Nagpur plateau, and Madhya Pradesh, even parts of Uttar Pradesh, all are there. Munda was the vast. And there are so many subsections, and the Singhabunga is one of them. And under this, the founder of the Singhabunga, this is founded by Birsa Munda. And every year we follow his birthday as in today's government, Narendra Modi. He dedicated his Janma Divas as a Janjatiya Gaurav Divas. Birsa Munda's birthday as a statue ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸುಮಾರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, Janjatiya Gaurav Divas. That is a current affairs. You can link that current affairs to this modern history. Janjatiya Gaurava Divas. Janjatiya Gaurav Divas. Birthday of Birsa Munda. So now tell me, what is the nature and character of the tribal uprising? What have you written? Okay, you tell. What are the nature and characters of the tribal uprising?
ಬೇರೆ ಅವರದೇ ಆದಂತ ಆ್ಯರೋ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವರ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ.
Okay, that is not in the case in the civil. They are like our revolutionaries, not like moderates.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ಗೆ ಯಾರೇ ಬಂದು ಏನಾದರೂ ಇಂಟರ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಹೊರತು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಇದು
Exactly. Next.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಜನರ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
Yes, they are not very happy for some other foreign presence in their habitat. They are not happy
ಅದು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್
foreigners' presence in their habitat. Foreigners means somebody outsider for that reason. Maybe person from the civil society. Next.
It's not so popular and even national leaders or anyone did
Exactly. The tribal revolts uprising is local revolts, local uprising. Even national leaders, even our media, they did not focus on that. Okay, next. Our anthropologists, they focused and they wrote something. Otherwise, our national media, even at that time also, ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವಾಗಿದ್ದ ಮೀಡಿಯಾಗಳು, ಅವಾಗಿದ್ದ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾಗಳು ಅದನ್ನು ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. Our anthropologists, they went there, they listened these leaders and they noted this. Okay, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತು. Otherwise, our media friends, they did not did this. Next.
ಔಟ್ಸೈಡರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ರಿವೋಲ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರವರಾಗಿ ರಿವೋಲ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು.
Okay, outsider support is not there. Next.
It was only one or two.
Okay, exception. Next. Sometimes ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನು ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. Some leaders, some foreign leaders, they use it for them. And the leadership came from outside. That is not the case with the civil society. Their leadership came from within civil society. Next. How you can, if the question was how the tribal uprising is different from civil society uprising, you can quote this. In some of the tribal uprising, the leadership came from outside the tribe. That is not the case with the civil society. Next. Okay, right. The tribal revolts was highly centralizing, or you can say highly localized. Highly localized, underline that localized word. Without broad social basis. Localized. Without broad social basis. In other words, the movement confined to respective localities. In other words, the movement confined to respective localities. See, read that book, okay, G.C. Liam book. That is very good book for climatology chapter. ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಬುಕ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಕ್ಲೈಮ್ಯಾಟೊಲಜಿ. ಅದು ನಾವು ಓದಿದಿಲ್ಲ, ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಈ ಬುಕ್ ಓದಿ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. G.C. Liam. The tribal movements is highly localized movements. In other words, ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ, the movement is confined to local. Without broad social base. Because if you look at non-cooperation movement, the same non-cooperation movement got support from South India, East India, West India, North India, central part of India. That is India's movement. But if you look at the Santhals rebellion, Munda rebellion, that is highly centralized. There are no social base for that. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದ ಕೇಸ್ ವಿತ್ ನಾನ್ ಕೋಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ನಾನ್ ಕೋಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಮುಂಬೈಯಲ್ಲೂ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಉತ್ತರ ಪ್ರದೇಶಲ್ಲೂ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ತಮಿಳುನಾಡಲ್ಲೂ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಬೇಸ್. ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ no broad. Where it is happening in that region only. And outsiders, they don't even aware of that something is happening in this forest. Right? This is the thing. Next one. Most of the movements were violative armed rebellion. Santal, right? Violative armed rebellion. Why it would become violative armed rebellion? Because this is a reaction. Newton's third law. Right?
Opposite to ahimsa.
Yes. Like if somebody is threatening me, because of that I am reacting that. Now ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಹೊಡೆದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. So same thing. Why tribes attack Britishers or why tribes uprise Britishers? Why they revolt against Britishers? Because they threaten. So this is something they are opposing the changes. Who bringing changes here? Right? These words are important in why British, why tribal uprising is something different from the civil societies. This is opposing the changes. Tribes oppose the changes. Otherwise, they know their own culture, or they are good at their own culture, they are good at their own lifestyle. If the Britishers they started to change their lifestyle, so this is opposition reaction. This is a reaction against some changes which is done by the Britishers. So this is a reactionary uprising. But opposite the change, that word is very important. Change word is very important. So next line, right? Can you call it as an anti-British, specifically tribal uprising? No. They can't call it as an anti-British or anti-colonial or anti-English. But what actually it is? This is after all a reactionary movement. This is after all an immediate solution to the problem which was faced by the tribes. This is after all a reactionary movement for the problem they are faced. This is after all a reactionary immediate solution for the problem which tribes face. So this line is very important. Okay. So they did not even bother about what is nation. They did not write. They are not bothered about what is British. They are not bothered about what is nation. And they are not even bothered about the question: who are the rulers of this territory? They are not even bothered about who are the rulers of this territory. And more than you can say, most of the times the revolt did not specifically against the Britishers, or you can say directly against the Britishers. Most of the time the revolt against the local landlords. They revolted against the local zamindars. And these zamindars and landlords, and zamindars and the money lenders, and zamindars and the forest officers and police officers, they are the faces of the British. That's why we consider this as an anti-British. Otherwise, and most of the policemen, most of the forest personnel, most of the money lenders, most of the zamindars, they are the Indians. So how can you say this is anti-British? Right? So their revolts are much against our own countrymen, like zamindars, like money lenders. Because who exploited the tribes? Not Britishers. Governor General Warren Hastings bandilli. Problem kodilla. Who exploited them? The local zamindar, the local money lender. So it is anti-Indian also, you can say. Anti-Indians, not anti-colonial. In practical note, right? So you can't paint it like this is the national movement against the Britishers. This is anti-colonial. This is anti-British. You are not able to paint, right? Moreover, you cannot expect these illiterate tribes to Right? You cannot expect this illiterate tribes to understand the concept called nation, the concept called freedom, right? The concept called rule, the concept called governance and administration, and concept called independence of the country. First of all, concept called country. You can't expect these illiterate tribes to understand the concept called country, concept called foreigners, concept called independence for the country, concept called dominion, right? What is the thing which is important for them? Liberty, that's it. Nammi namdu. That's it. So is this really organized movement like our non-cooperation movements and other movements? This is not organized. And the tribal movement were definitely from the below, in the sense, right? In the sense, the leadership came from within society. See, except 2-3 tribal revolts, most of the revolts which was done by the same personals. So tribal leaders are also part of tribe means. So tribe led the movement, and the leader he himself don't know what is India. He himself don't know what is country. He himself don't know who is ruling this country. He himself don't know who is the Governor General and what is this office called Governor General. How you can consider this is a freedom movement? The tribal revolts came from below, and the leaders are most of the times from their own tribemen, their own kin, right? When that was the case, the leader he himself was a tribe. How can you say that this is a part of the freedom struggle? Yes or no? However, there are some moments which leadership came from outside. What are the revolts which leadership came from outside? Look at Koya, Alluri Sitaramaraju, etc. They were the movement from the above. This is exceptional. Otherwise, the movement came from below. That means the tribal kinsmen, they are the leaders of the revolt. And even these tribals, they don't know what is India, what is nation, what is Britishers, what is Governor General Office. You can't consider this as a national movement. You can't able to consider this as a part of freedom struggle. So this should be your answer. E angle the question bar main cell. Okay? Really, the tribal movement is a national movement. Tribal movement is an anti-colonial, anti-British. Or they can ask like nature and characteristics of the tribal movement. So you must answer this. Okay. What is the main thing you always remember? You must always remember. This is reactionary revolts. There are no plan. There are no idea. There is no ideology behind this. This is just a reactionary movement for them, and localized movement. And they don't know for the same cause. Same cause means for the same forest which was brought by the British Parliament. In some other forest, somebody else is fighting. They don't know even for the same sex, somebody else is also fighting. If at all they know, they may organize at that time. They might. They didn't. That means what? They don't know somebody else is fighting. We are knowing. We are aware of that. Okay, same period ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಈಗ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅವರು ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ತರನೇ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಾಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರು ಯಾರು ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ಡ್. ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬರಬೇಕು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫಿಗರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಟ್ರೈಬ್ ನೇಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ನೆನಪಿರಲ್ಲ, ಡೋಂಟ್ ವರಿ. ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೇಮ್ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಅಷ್ಟು ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ನೇಮ್ ನೆನಪಿರಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು 4 ಟ್ರೈಬ್ ನೇಮ್ ನೆನಪಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನೇಮ್ ನೆನಪಿದ್ರು ಬರೆಯೋ ಜಾಗ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ 4 ಟ್ರೈಬ್ ನೇಮ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಅಪ್ರೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ನೇಮ್ಸ್. ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಓದಬೇಕಂತಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ನೇಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಬರೀರಿ. ಕಡೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಜನರಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೀರಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್. This is highly centralized and local. Okay? Got my point? I hope. So by that note, tribal uprising or something related to tribes was over. In social issues, if I get time, I will discuss again tribes. There I will discuss the problem and solutions. History la way forward alla, you know this. Illivare naವೇನು discuss ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. While discussing polity, I gave some way forward and all. While discussing the election chapter, I guess the first chapter, very first chapter. Election completed for you. The chapter called election in polity was completed. While discussing election chapter, I gave way forward. ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಯಾಂಬಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ವೇ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು ದಟ್ ವೇ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಯು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಯು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ವೇ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ವೇ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ಅಗೇನ್ ಬೈ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್ ವೇ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ವೇ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಇಸ್ ವೇ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ದೇಶ ಉದ್ಧಾರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂತ ವೇ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಸೊ ಆ ವೇ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದೇರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ವೇ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಫಾರ್ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತು ಟ್ರೈಬಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಓಕೆ ದೇರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್ ನೌ ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ವೇ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ತುಂಬಾ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಓಕೆ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡು ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ಲೆಟ್ us study in social issues so this history part of tribes is over next zamindari revolt take it in zamindari revolt let us do it in a next class so what is this zamindari revolt they are the friends right zamindars in English
At one point of time they also lose
54% of the zamindars they lost their zamindarship and what is the sunset clause and all right and what is this 10 upon 11 this is too high that must be 5 11 after it is okay right these are the reason behind and what is this they consider zamindar as a failure suddenly the zamindar lost his ownership over the land again the peasants become the owners of the land in raitwari right ಒಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಓರಿಯೆಂಟಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಏನೋ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಈ ಜಮೀನ್ದಾರ್ ಬೇಡ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಜಮೀನ್ದಾರ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಗೇನ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಕಾರ್ಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಹರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಜಮೀನ್ದಾರ್ಸ್
they will lose their value
before British also they are the owners zamindars are they are the whole and sole owners for this peasantry when these Britishers came these zamindars automatically become under British automatically so before that there were no masters for these zamindars right so there is a reason behind their revolt against the Britishers yes or no so these things let us discuss in tomorrow class hope you enjoyed the class again start the name of all tribes Chawas first one Chawas pronounce everybody Chawas Coals Khons Kashanaga Koya Munda Orans Santal Savara Toda Kuki Tadau Kuki Bills Chenchus Mundas next never mention madidna Naikdas okay Todas of Nilgiri right that is homework ಅದರಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲೂ ನೋಡಬಹುದು okay and another homework Kurugas of Karnataka Kuraga Nadim Hasnan sir spelling Kuraga here in Dakshin Kannada we call it as Kuraga Udupi Dakshin Kannada but Lucknow fellow he called them as a Kuraga I don't know Kuragas and even in government records also they are pronounced as a KU not KO KU Kuragas okay official name for them. Okay, we're done with our class. Thank you so much.